What is a curse? A curse is a form of a judgment. Yah can uplift his hedge of protection from sinners and allow curses to be put upon them until they humble themselves and repent by obeying his word, the commandments. But witches and wizards, they can use curses to manipulate and control those who are not protected by Yah. I think of Balak, a Moabite king who wanted to destroy his enemies, the children of Israel. So he hired a wizard, Balaam, to put a curse on them that he may conquer them. Numbers 22, verse 5 through 7. He sent messengers, therefore, unto Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessed is blessed, and he whom thou curse is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came unto Balaam, and spake unto him the words of Balak. But he was not able to curse them, because they had spiritual protection by Yah. Why? Because during this time they were living righteously and obeying the word of Yah. So they had a hedge of protection around them. And Yah met Balaam and put a word in his mouth and said, Go again unto Balak and say thus. And when he came to him, behold, he stood by his burnt offering, and the prince of Moab with him. And Balak said unto him, What hath Yah spoken? And he took up his parable and said, Rise up, Balak, and hear, hearken unto me, thou son of Zippor. Elohim is not a man, that he should lie, neither the son of man, that he should repent. Have he said, and shall he not do it? Or have he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Behold, I have received commandment to bless, and he have blessed, and I cannot reverse it. He have not beheld iniquity in Jacob, neither have he seen perverseness in Israel. Yah his Elohim is with him, and the shout of a king is among them. Elohim brought them out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of a unicorn. Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, What hath Elohim wrought? So Balak came up with a plan for the children of Israel to sin, which would take away Yah's hedge of protection and allow Balak to curse and conquer them. We'll read this in Numbers chapter 25, verse 1 through 3. It says, And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods. And the people did eat, and bowed down to their gods. And Israel joined himself to Baal Peor, and the anger of Yah was kindled against Israel. And you still see this happening today. The men of Israel joined themselves to the pagan women, and through those pagan women they began to worship other gods. They fell in sin, and then Balak was able to conquer them. And you still see the men of Israel doing this today in the entertainment industry. Many of these men are getting involved in worshiping other gods. Behind closed doors, they doing all sorts of heinous things that you could never imagine. And they're doing this because they're worshiping other gods, and they're trying to get fame and fortune by worshiping these demonic, devilish gods. Okay? Temple prostitution, orgies, homosexuality. You see these men, they go and marry all these different women that's witches, wizards. This is really happening. Okay? So we got to understand what just took place. The children of Israel opened up a door for themselves to become cursed and conquered by their enemy by what? By sinning. By sinning. Now, does this still apply today? Yes, it does. When we look at the conditions of our people as a whole, this is the result of sin. Sure, there are very successful black people all around the world, but we are not as strong as we could be because we are not a nation at this present time because of sin. Two things: the children of Israel are still being cursed and manipulated, okay? And other races of believers, they can fall into this category once they begin to walk with Yah. The devil and all of his followers will begin to attack them and target them as well. And you have to be on guard. You have to be on guard because, once again, they want to keep the children of Israel in sin and distracted. They want to keep the whole world, to be honest, distracted. But the children of Israel are the ones that are chosen to bring about the new way of the world, the kingdom, the peace that will come upon earth. And it's going to be by way of Christ, right? But also other races of believers are going to follow the Most High too and be with Israel. And guess what? Like I said, I repeat, it's the same thing. They want to distract those people as well. Okay? So we got to be, we have to know this and be knowledgeable of this. But I will focus on the children of Israel right here. So how are they cursing Israel today? How Balak and Balaam did. Through entertainment is one of the main ways. Pay attention to how movies and music depicted our people then, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s in the past. Whether it was Step and Fetch It, the lazy, coon, imbecile character, or the mammy who loved and served white families more than her own. Black people during this time at least hated these caricatures because they knew they were not true and were an insult to their race. But as sin increased and time moved on, more and more Hebrews began to believe these curses being put on them by way of entertainment. And since they believed it more than the word of the Most High Yah, many became the very characters their predecessors before them despised. This is witchcraft, ladies and gentlemen. Fast forward to today, and many of us just don't care anymore what we or our children allow to enter into our eyes and ears and mind. We're promoted as players, hustlers, pimps, cowards, whores, rebels, dysfunctional, criminals, etc. And guess what? Not only do people accept it, but with pride. Knowledge is frowned upon and ignorance is celebrated. We can read this in Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy Elohim, I will also forget thy children." People complain and criticize the role models of old. People such as Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Paul Robeson and various different people, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, and Mamie Lee Hainer, and all these different people, right? People criticize them, right? They nitpick. Some people nitpick with everything that these people did. They wasn't perfect by a long shot. Many of them made mistakes. They did what was best at that time. But I don't see much of the criticism on the people after them. That, to me, in my opinion, many of the role models after them were way worse. Okay? But at least these people try to instill some type of dignity in us more than the people who act like clowns on the TV today. See, when you constantly see an evil image of yourself on TV, a low standard representation, and as soon as you begin to believe it, you become it. That's what's happening today. There are plenty of black people doing great things today as we speak, but they won't broadcast them. You can't be lazy. You have to find them. But the ones who are a part of their witchcraft agenda are promoted to you everywhere you turn. Because your people made a choice to keep you in sin and curse, that those who they work for and who own the industry can continue to conquer you. And they're doing this all for fame and a paycheck. Step and Fetch It was a millionaire back in the 1930s. But get this, the man who played Step and Fetch It, Lincoln Andrew Perry, was a very intelligent man in real life, aside from the lazy, incompetent, imbecile caricature that he portrayed. He was highly literate and had a concurrent career writing for the great Defender of Chicago. But he was also the first black actor to become a millionaire. He was tempted during a very hard time for Hebrews, but people, even after the man has passed away, remembered him as the quote unquote the laziest man alive. Step and fetch it. He lost most of his wealth due to lavish spending. And Proverbs 13 verse 11 says, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. So we see many of our people are gathering wealth by being buffoons on TV, like they're a part of a circus, right? Playing these characters. And that's money that's being obtained through vanity. I hate to say it, but that's just the truth. And it's unfortunate, but it's money being gained through vanity. You see many people that are influencers, actors, entertainers, right? And look at the things that they're doing. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing music and being an influencer and all these other things, but if you're doing it for vanity, you're not doing it to instill righteousness in people. You're not doing it to uplift people. You're not doing it to teach people things, right, that can better different aspects of their life. There's many people that's doing those things in that way, but we're not talking about those people. We're talking about the people like Young Miami, who make a song called Spin That that's going to influence people to do the wrong thing, whether you believe it or not. This is wealth gotten by vanity. All right. It's no different today. People behave like who they believe and look up to. Look at black people about 70 years ago compared to now. Dressed different, spoke different, stood on different things. The role models today have joined with wizards and witches to curse and destroy you. And many of them back then as well. But the numbers have increased today. The percentage of people doing it today has greatly increased compared to back then. Entertainment about poverty, drugs, adultery, fornication, witchcraft, etc. And people flock to it. Those who will hear, repent by dropping these things, keep Yah's commandments, and live. Hope you got something from this.